This is Medicine Women Reveal. I'm Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman, and with me is
Jen Toffel, Medicine Woman.
And our person that we're supposed to be interviewing, they lost connection, so hopefully they'll get back on. But when you're watching the video, you'll see her picture to, what would you say, the left of us?
It's our left, it'll be your right.
But
anyways,
think
about that.
You'll have her picture on there and her name, and we will have all the information below in the video. We also have a website that will feature each of our interviews. Interviewees each week or every other week. We're going to try this out. We're going to start by November 1st. Oh, there she goes. She's called in.
Okay, so we are...
And so what we're going to do is, like I said, this is all about interviews, and we have our first interview today. And Jen?
Hello, Karina.
Karina.
Hi, yeah, I'm so sorry, my phone disconnected. I apologize.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay. We understand, and it may be Skype and that kind of thing, so...
So we usually like to introduce people, but what we're just going to do is we're going to start asking questions. So you are living in the USA, yes? Karina?
I'm so sorry, Brenda. Yeah, what did you say?
I just asked you where you lived.
Yes, I live in Illinois and been here for the last 16 years.
Wonderful, wonderful. So as far as what you do for a living is that you are, from my understanding, you are a reader. What kind of reader are you?
Oh my God, that's a tough one to answer, but I am an intuitive reader. I'm a tarot card reader. I am also a spirit communicator, and I also do healing. So I am also a counselor at the same time. So I do variety in that whole spectrum.
Okay, alrighty. So if we have any callers today, then they will be calling in. And if there is anybody in the chat room that would like to write your questions, we will ask her ourselves. And tell us about how you got started on this path.
Well, the interesting part about this, as you probably have read about other readers, is we get usually the first glimpse into the spirit side when we go through some traumatized experience. But mine was just a little bit different. At that time, I used to live with my great-grandmother back home in Ukraine. And one day, it was this day that was really weird. It was the darkest day ever. It was probably after winter, I want to say. And it was just her and I at home, and she said to me, "Do you want tea?" I said, "Yeah, okay, let's have tea." And what happened at that time is we had this big picture window. And I said, "Grandma, how did your husband die?" Because she would never talk about him at all. Like, it was just like forbidden subject or something. And she said, well, and before she could say anything, in this picture window, I saw the war. You know, I saw the first war that he died in. You know, the bombs going off, you know, the machete. And I said, he got shot in the heart. She looked at me with these eyes. She could not believe me. She could not believe me what I was telling her because she knew it was the truth. But she couldn't understand how a 5-year-old knew that. So after that, she started to teach me tarot.
So you started at a very young age. You said about 5 years old. Is that what I heard?
Yes, about 5 years old.
Okay, so at 5 years old, you just saw this and you said it to her, and she was in shock.
Almost like being in a movie theater, you know, like the big screen comes down and you start to see these, you know, characters. And I didn't understand why I was seeing this. I was like, what, you know, and she started to explain to me that I, like her, was a healer. And I could see all of that.
So were you scared? Is that what I heard?
Yes. She used to be a silent healer because back home, you know, the Christian belief was, well, you can't do this. So she would kind of do it, but within her circle. You know, she stayed within the people that would understand what she does.
Okay.
So she guided me for many, many years. I'm really thankful that I had her.
Well, I've talked to many people, and one of the things that usually happens is when they get scared, they're afraid to talk to adults. Did you feel comfortable that you could just ask her?
Oh yeah, because she was the one that, if I could lie to my parents, I couldn't lie to her. Like, I didn't even dare to make up something. I couldn't, and I always told her the truth straight up, and I felt comfortable talking to her because it wasn't really a major difference between us, but also because she made me feel like, hey, you can come and tell me anything you want.
So, that's a good thing, is having that rapport, and you had somebody to help mentor you, to take you to that next level. Did you have...
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, that's really important to have a mentor, and just having that person to be able to talk to about those kinds of things is really important.
So when you were growing up, you went to school, correct?
I went to school, yes.
So was it hard? Well, was it hard for you as you were 8? You were getting your teenage years.
Because I would go. I remember one incident. Really, it was in first grade, and my mother forced me to take this picture for school day. It was September 1st, and we would bring flowers to the teachers. That was our tradition back home. And my mom's like, oh, she dressed me all up. And she's like, okay, go to school, get this picture, have a good day at school. And I said, oh, okay, fine, I'll try. As I'm walking towards the school, I started to, pick up all these different people, We lived in an apartment building, 5 floors, and we have many apartment buildings. And I was walking to school, and I started feeling like whoever had problems. I knew who was going to die. I knew who was what. When I got to that day, the photographer's like, okay, smile. I said, oh, okay, fine, let me smile. I smiled for the picture, but I couldn't really force myself to smile. It was just the most horrible experience because I had to learn to hold my feelings of what I was feeling because I couldn't just say, oh, excuse me, photographer, your wife's not doing well? So
Right.
I had to learn to, keep my feelings kind of within me, It was just not something I could express, especially growing up in the Soviet Union times. You couldn't say something like that.
So you grew up not here in the United States then?
I did not grow up. I immigrated to the United States at the age of 10.
Okay, so when you were growing up, the friends, were you able to make friends? Were you able to say what your gifts were? Could you tell people, or did you have to learn to hide that?
While back home, I had to hide it. I had to pretend to be the most regular kid on the block. Once I immigrated to the United States, I didn't have friends, first of all, because I didn't know a word in English. I knew caterpillar and something else.
So you knew your native tongue, but you didn't really have the language.
I didn't know anything. I just knew 2 words in the U.S.
Wow.
Caterpillar and maybe hi or goodbye or something. And we had this teacher back in 4th grade, because it was already 4th grade for me at that time. And all these kids were Russian because they put me in the Russian group because I spoke Russian. So they were like, oh, you can make friends. I made friends. But on the surface, we were friends. You know what I mean? I ate lunch with them. But I knew who was jealous. I knew who was not a good person. It was really hard for me to actually keep the friends because I knew so much about them that I couldn't. I couldn't really spill my beans, so to speak. I had to still keep quiet on this whole entire subject.
So, that's important, because I know that when I started to talk about it, I thought everybody thought the way I did and saw the way I did, and I was chastised immediately, which caused me to go in the closet of saying, I cannot be who I am. And so I was very quiet for the longest time. So, now, did you have any physical experiences with the unknown, the unexplained?
I had a late experience at the age of 5 and at the age of 7.
Okay.
Yeah. The one at the 5 years old, I can't really remember. I know it had happened because I also had dreams about the light experience, so I know it did happen. But the one at the age of 7, I actually went up to the light. I heard God, I heard the angels, I heard everything, and the reason I am a healer is because I was downloaded with a lot of information, flower essences, gemstones, what, what does it's like your arm hurts, I know what part of the body to heal it. I know how that works. So my light experience was a very powerful one. And to this day, I am open with my friends, of course, now, They all know. They call me, okay, Karina, I have this job interview, and my foot hurts for some reason. I'm like, oh, that's the fear of the unknown. Okay, let's clear that. Are you afraid you're not going to get this job, or are you afraid that you're not good enough? So my light experience was very powerful for me.
Okay.
Wow.
So when you, did you understand how to use your abilities, or did you, how do I want to say
Well, what happened was one night I had no idea that I could heal. I had no idea, nothing. I was on the phone with a friend, and she kept complaining that her jaws kept hurting. I said, okay, well, and intuitively, in my bedroom, there was this Native American guide, okay, and he said, just do what I do. I looked at him like, what? And he started waving his hands, and then he started telling me, like, what flower essences to use. Use this flower for that. I completely started going intuitively channeling this. And she was like, what are you talking? What are you doing? What are you doing? By the time we were done in 10 minutes, her jaws completely stopped hurting. After that, I started to write down, different things that they would tell me. So then, if I already know that the jaws meant one thing, then when my friend would have that experience again, I would, do it again and again and again. And it took years, of course, to kind of perfect it. But to be honest with you, every healing session is different. And they still come and they still tell me what to do, what to say. Every day is a new experience for me.
So do you have the same people that come to help you each time?
I have pretty much the same spirit guides all the time with me, but if, say, if I don't know you and I've never worked with, say, one of your issues, I will have a new guy come in and he'll say, okay, trust me, this is what we're going to do. And boom, 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 we go.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Cool.
So Jen, do you have any questions for her?
So then you become familiar with your clients' spirit guides also and work together in that fashion?
I think she said yes.
Then, I don't know if you're breaking up a little bit, but I couldn't hear you when you said the rest of the sentence.
I was just asking if you work with your clients' spirit guides also and become familiar with them to help the client also.
Of course, yes. Because sometimes I'll be in a session and a client's like, this is not going to help me. I said, you know what, I'm not here to prove it. And my guides go, yeah, you're not here to prove anything. And her guides sometimes will come through, say if it's like a female friend, her guides will come and say, okay, this is the problem. They'll actually show me what the problem is, where it is and how to fix it. And then they work with my guides, and my guides work through me, and then I do what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, cool.
So here's the thing. When did you start doing this professionally?
To be honest with you, I believe after the age of 18.
Okay.
I stopped for a few years, but then I went back at it. So I want to say after the age of 18, I went back in professionally, kind of putting myself out there, but I still had a small circle.
Okay.
But in 2009 is when I completely expanded my circle, actually. I actually started really, taking this more into, not in a serious way, but more of okay, I know what I can do. Because for a while, growing up in this Christianity, I'm like, is this really, am I supposed to do this? And the more I expanded, the more I realized, oh my God, this is totally what I'm supposed to do. Because my clients, they write to me, they're like, oh my God, you totally did this. Oh my God, you totally knew this guy was going to cheat on me 50 times or whatever the issues are. And it made me feel good about myself, One time I did doubt this. I said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Oh my God, the loud voice came through and it was like, you're not going to what? I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. And they showed me that I am doing the right thing. I don't have to doubt myself because of the Christianity belief or somebody says it and agree with what I've said. So I do take my work very seriously.
Well, that's wonderful, wonderful. So, have you ever been harassed ever since you've opened up and became more of the reader for the world? Have you had people harassing you?
Had I had people what?
Harass you?
I had this one woman who thought that she was better or something. Anyway, she started kind of like stealing my modalities. But it didn't work for her because she put her ego in front of her. But yeah, she did kind of put me on a bad spot. But my clients stayed with me. They knew who knew what. And then as far as spirits, yes, I've actually had someone attach themselves to me, and it was a horrible experience because the spirit was really dark, and I did not want to deal with that. So I cleared that. I told them that, they had to go home, which home is heaven to them, because they were kind of stuck between the earth plane and the spiritual plane.
So you're able to help remove attached spirits as well?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Do you find that complicated or easy?
To be honest with you guys, each case is very different. It could be like snapping my fingers, or it could, become to something where I really have to spend a few days with that. So I can't say if it's easy or hard because each case is very different.
That's good, that's good. And so that people can get an
Definitely.
experiment, feel what you're like, so they can feel more comfortable with you. So Jen is sitting right next to me, and
Yes, I am. I'm right
how
here.
do you do it? Do you like to ask questions? Do you like a cold reading? What would you like from us?
Let's start with the question so I can kind of tune into her voice and do a trance.
Okay, so
Okay.
what I'd like you to point out, so as you're thinking your question, for the audience, notice how every reader is different, every medium and every intuitive is different. So she wants to tune in to Jen, and Jen's going to ask a question, and she's going to go into a trance form. So Jen, do you have a question yet?
Yes, I will ask one of the most popular questions that we get as readers. Do you see any romantic relationships on the horizon? That's
Wow, how did I not know? Well, what I am automatically getting is the cards I keep getting is the Ace of Cups, okay? I don't have any cards in front of me, but in tune I feel sometimes spirits actually show me the cards, but for you it's the Ace of Cups, so this is a new romantic relationship. Now, this new romantic relationship, that's going to come in, I for some reason feel, December, January, okay? This person is going to be in a professional field. Now, when I mean by professional field, he's not going to be like, some like snotty out person, okay? He's not going to put his ego in front of him, okay? He's going to be more about actually taking care of whatever he does. I want to say that he is either in the working of something with the law, okay? I don't know if he's the, real estate, say appraisal, but money's been involved. So I want to kind of say, actually now I'm seeing the scales, so I do want to say that he is going to be definitely working in the law firm, okay? He's going to make enough money, so he's not a secretary, He is somebody who's well respected, okay? I don't feel like he had an easy childhood, okay? So that's why he's not going to put his ego, I made $20,000 or I made $90,000. He's going to be taking each thing as a stride and actually, saying, oh, wow, I made this money. Okay, you want to go on vacation or wherever. But I also feel the Spirit telling you that the past relationship that you've had was, let's just say, I don't want to really do a whole, things here on air because of your privacy, but I want to say that they were not really what you were expecting, okay? Like almost you had, I want to say, failed at them for some reason, like they weren't feeling like 100% complete. Does that make sense to you?
I missed the last part of what you were saying.
I know, when I go into trance, I speak really fast. I apologize. What I was saying is that the past relationships that you've had, say that don't feel like 100% complete. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay. And then I also feel that this guy will make you feel at home, okay? He won't make you feel loved, okay? He's very, I almost pick up the sign Aries, which is a fire sign, okay? So he's going to be passionate. He's going to be very, he's hardworking, okay? Like, he will make the money, okay? And then say, like, I don't know, say it's holiday time, okay? And he's going to want to go on vacation. He's got the best vacation you guys can go on. Not middle class, not Jewish, nothing, no. Whatever his money can afford, that's what you guys are going to do. If it's a $20 vacation, that's what he'll do. If it's, $10,000, that's what he'll do, okay? This guy works really hard for his money. And he's an Aries man. And Aries men are very genuine people. Like, almost like you can sit down and feel like you're at a counselor's office and tell them everything. Oh, I had 95 boyfriends, and I did this, I did that, I did that. He's going to be very loving and very forgiving. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. So
Okay.
can I ask a couple questions?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So this person that you're intuiting that would come into my world, do you see that they would be like-minded as far as spirituality?
I think you guys are both going to have a spiritual connection. Both of you guys are going to have a spiritual connection, definitely.
Okay, and then the next question would be, how do you see us meeting?
You're going to laugh, but I feel almost like a coffee shop, sort of. I don't want to say Starbucks, and I don't want to say like one of them big chains, okay? But it's going to be like something small. Like, I don't know if you guys even have that in your town.
Yes,
But
yes,
it's such
yes,
a
she does.
small- Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I was
It's
just
kinda
at a
like
coffee
small-
shop the other day.
Oh, okay. It's like a small coffee shop, really. It's something rusticy, eclectic, It's like they have different cups, like nothing is the same, you know what I mean? Like blue cups, yellow cups, green cups, so it's nothing out of like ordinary, because Starbucks, they make one cup, and it's like 60 of them on a shelf. But these ones are kind of like eclectic.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have anything else that you would like to ask her?
I don't know. I can't.
Okay, so what else normally would you have during a reading? If somebody were to pay for your services, what would they expect? So help Jen out.
Okay. Usually my readings are about an hour.
Ah.
And what we do is, the first part of the reading, I really tune into that person, okay? I tell them about them, okay? Because first of all, I want to protect myself, okay? Because if I feel like, if I start to say, pull out the cards, and I feel intuitively and say that person is going to scam me later, or they want to hurt somebody in a reading, like if they ask me about the ex-boyfriend, oh, there's, money, I don't want that person to go and hurt them. So I read about you first. And then, if everything works out, I feel that, we're good to go. And what's going to happen is I'm going to focus on a little bit of your future. And then you can ask me questions that, you would want to know. After the reading is complete, I'll usually spend the person like a few minutes of healing, just kind of get them in peace and kind of, make them feel good. That's usually how my readings are done.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so the first part of it is that you got to get to know her. Do you need to get hooked into the vibe a little bit more, or are you good?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you need to have her ask you a few more questions, or can you just go ahead and start giving her more of a reading?
It really the best reading is to actually do, about you. But if, let's say, if I feel if I talk to you and I feel that you're okay without even laying out the cards and you only have like 19 questions to ask me, then we'll just do it that way. But usually, a lot of people, when they pay for a full reading, that's what they expect. If you pay for an email reading, then of course, I'll just answer your questions to the best of my ability,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want
It's almost like going to the doctor, Like if you go to the doctor, you can't just ask him, oh, hi, can I have my, shot? The doctor doesn't know you, right? So he has to do, the whole workup of you to know if you can have that. Maybe you're just feeling it for somebody. This is a bad example, but I hope that kind of makes sense,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is that what else would you like to ask her? So this is Jen's few minutes before we go into break. So come on, tell me what else questions you have in your head.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what would you like?
I have a question, Jen. I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but sometimes it'll happen. Do you have a grandfather in spirit?
Yes, I have, both my grandfathers are on the other side.
Okay. Why am I seeing one of them, like, in a lab coat? Like, does one of them work in a hospital or something? Does they feel like a lab coat? Or did they visit the doctors a lot or something? Because I feel like medication, the lab coat.
If it's on my mom's side, then yes, he was going to the doctors all the time.
Yeah, because he keeps showing me these medication. It's like really right in front of my face.
Interesting. That grandfather on my mom's side, he died from alcoholism. He bled out on the table. And my grandma blamed the doctors. She never admitted that he was an alcoholic. She blamed the doctors that they didn't save him. I don't know if he was on medication all the time.
Because I keep hearing the medication battling. So that's what I keep seeing. It's almost like he wants to let me know that, he went to the doctors because the lab coat and then the medication. So yeah.
Okay.
That's him just, reconfirming to you that that's what happened.
Is there a message that he has?
The only message I get is a big roses. He keeps giving you these one single long rose. There's a lot of them, but he only keeps giving you one. So that usually to me signifies that they're just trying to tell you that they love you.
That's interesting. I never met him because he died before I was born.
To them it doesn't matter if you were here yesterday or you never met him. Mm-hmm. They knew you already, so they just kind of give that feeling like, hey, I love you. You're gonna be okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd like to ask him a question.
So I guess the question is, for him, is there something more that I'm supposed to be? I'm tripping over my words.
I keep feeling like Reiki. I feel Reiki, like almost like if you can learn Reiki, you'll be really good at it, because he keeps showing me like a massage people and you're doing Reiki on people.
Huh. Well,
I don't know if you ever thought about it, but
so the question is, I don't know if he has the answer to this, about healing and becoming famous. That seems like that's what's on the horizon as far as what Brenda and I are supposed to be doing, and if there's any confirmation, whether from him or other spirit guides.
Well, what I keep feeling is this. Now, you guys are supposed to either write a book or make a video, okay? But both of you are supposed to kind of branch out in a little bit different area. For you, I feel that it's more about Reiki massage. Okay, so this is being the same person again. And Brenda's more the one who's kind of like needs to write it down and kind of like take care of the business side, sort of, But at the same time, you guys are supposed to blend and create some products. I don't know exactly what they are, but that's what I keep hearing from spirit.
And then the last, one of the last questions I have is, am I supposed to stay at my church as minister?
And, you know, I feel that there is something better out there for you. Finish out whatever you have to finish out, but I would look for something else. That's what I feel.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you got another question, Jen?
Um,
Or do you have any last few words for Jen? Are you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking Jen something.
Well, how about you ask, is there any last words that you would like to say to Jen before we go on our break?
Honestly, I just think that you need to look into something that would have to do with Reiki, because that would give you a greater knowledge, and you would be able to intune easily into human quantum touch. Because as soon as you trick somebody, you would get the images and the messages from the guides. You can also learn tarot, okay? And tarot actually is only a confirmation, but when you're learning it, that's the way of spirits knowing that, hey, this person's open, I'm going to go and have a chat with them, you know? Because if you pick up, say, the card sun, we all know the sun means, you know, persons are coming for business, you know, it's the yes answer. But sometimes the guides come in and they say, you know what, you have to wait. You have to be more open. You know, we can't just have you go out there and be successful if you don't know what's coming up. So tarot is another way to learn.
Okay.
okay.
All right, so when we're going to end up taking a break in about 40 seconds, but when we get back, I want you to think about if you can do this. We have somebody in the chat room that had like a reading, and his name is Mark. See if you can tune in that way. If not, then let us know. But we're going to take a small little break, and we'll be right back. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, great.
All right, like I said, Mark from the chat room would like to have a reading. Are you able to connect with him without connecting like you did? Okay.
Yes. Okay. I feel for some reason that this is going to be about relationship reading. So I feel that whoever he's with or were with, okay, that person is not the best for him, okay? But again, this is through chat, so I just kind of haven't made it to it, so I don't want him to, like, take this, like, way too serious. But anyway, I do feel that things will get resolved with this person. I also feel a new job opportunity coming up for him in an office, so because I keep hearing the keyboard going. So I feel it's going to be an office job. He's going to make the money that he really wants to. And for some reason, I keep hearing a house sale, so I don't know if he's going to sell his house or thinking about it, but there is a sale of a house, or he might be purchasing one. So I don't know, can you maybe ask him if that's what I'm picking up on?
Okay, so what Jen's going to do is interact with the through the computer. And it was funny because the line that he said is, "No to romance. I have enough drama with 5 women in the house." And so that was what he wrote, probably what, 15, 20 minutes ago?
Right, well, you were in the middle of my reading.
Yeah. So he's a funny character and stuff, but maybe he will answer in just a second, because
There is a little bit of a lag.
yes, there
In
is
the
that
video.
leg. Yeah. Okay, so how did you connect with him? If you're doing it differently than Jen, how did you get connected with Mark? Hello?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to tune out again because I was just trying to see if there was any other messages. I just honestly tuned in on his name.
You want to know how to say his name, or what did you say?
No, I said I tuned in on his name.
Oh.
That's all. You said Mark, so
Okay.
I just
All right.
imagined him, so that's what started coming through.
Okay, so he did say he's looking to buy this house.
Oh, okay.
So the house that he's in, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other messages that you have for him? Now, Mark, do you have any questions specific for her? Please ask away.
And meantime, we do need to fill air.
Yes.
Since this is a radio show.
I know, so she was thinking what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. As far as Mark goes, like you said, he was going to be coming into money, or is he going to be making the money? Which way did you say it?
Yes. No, I just feel like he's going to find some job that has to do with keyboards. So he's
Okay.
going to make the money that he needs to make. So
Do you know how
hopefully
soon?
that makes sense to him.
Yeah. Do you know how soon that could be?
I keep feeling like January.
Okay. He did come up with a question. Jen, what was his question?
Will my legal issues be resolved soon? Elevator music.
I keep feeling April.
April.
So from now, it could be to April, but explain to him that depends on the energies of these people. I just did April. I don't know if it's a person's name that works there or what, but I just feel like that for some reason it's April. So it could be resolved in February, March, but the latest is April.
Okay. And
Let's
we'll
see.
ask Mark and find out more about what's going on.
Any other questions, Mark?
All right. Otherwise, continue to give any more reading.
I'm sorry, what?
Is there anything else that you would like to tell him?
No, like I said, I'm just tuning in on his name, so that's kind of like a little bit hard for me. But
All right. How about tuning in to Mark in the chat room? Because he goes by Mark Dragus. Think of Dragus Productions.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that'll help you become more clear.
It does become a little bit more clear, but again, the messages that are coming through is pretty much the same, besides the fact that his legal issues, he has to pay attention to all the I's and all the dots crossed, because especially with Mercury being in retrograde, it's almost like impossible to accomplish anything right now. So he has to really pay attention. I know he sits there thinking, oh my God, when is this going to get resolved? The only way it's going to get resolved is by let Mercury actually take action and do what it needs to do. But in the meantime, he has advantage to find out how to solve this problem. It's almost like the time stops. So if someone's suing him, then he knows how to find out about it. If somebody wants to, scam him, he has time, He has time on his hands right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So if you're unable to tune any more in, and he seems to be a thumbs up, like he seems to be good with what the questions are.
Yep.
Then what we'll do is then now we'll ask about me. You said that you're a healer, so I have some healing issues, physical issues. And what would you guide me to do?
Well, this is Brenda, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. First of all, you need to unblock the subconscious feeling that you can't do it. Okay, first of all. You have to, again, also start to imagine like if you are, say, married or you have kids, okay? Say your daughter's name is, person A. Then look at her and feel what's going on. Just feel it. And you'll feel either your muscles start to contract or you'll feel just an answer come to your head. Say, marriage problems or something, okay? Then you can kind of go more into the core of it, and you'll hear the spirit tell you to overlay her with flowers or just by touching her hands, or you'll hear more of it, but you need to firstly unblock your subconscious feeling that you can't.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
And how would you help me heal a particular physical issue? If I said it was my bronchial tubes.
Okay, so what was your problem?
My bronchial tubes seem to be an issue.
Okay. Well, that has to do with past trauma, okay? So, like I said, I don't really want to ask private questions on air, but did you get divorced? Did you lose the house? Did something cause you to have stress, like every day was okay, then one day everything kind of like, had a big X on it?
How would I even answer that, Jen?
Well, my answer is yes. There was. She did have. So this is technically her second marriage, obviously. And then the house. The first thing that came to mind was when her other building burnt down, and the stress that was wrapped up around that.
Okay. So that's the trauma. So what the healing session would require is that we deal with the DNA issue. So the house burned down. So we know that you feel bad about it. Okay, so obviously your bronchial tubes and all that chest area, ribs, that has to do with past trauma and now being able to be in power of that situation. So that it would require working with energy, which is all about flower essences, and working with clearing out any emotional issues that are associated with that. I'm sending you energy now, so you should probably kind of feel your lungs kind of going up and down a little bit. Like almost like you have air coming in. That's just me and my Native American working through me. So you should kind of feel a little bit of, lungs kind of moving a little bit. That's what I do.
Okay, all right. As far as when you do the healing sessions, do you recommend that the person that is receiving to be quiet? How do you like them to participate?
I have sometimes people who go around cooking vacuuming. It doesn't matter to me, really, because I don't pay attention to their voice. I just listen to, they tell me, okay, I have a problem with my leg. That's it. That's all I need to know. And then when my Native American says, okay, well, find out the core, and then I know the leg has to do with not being able to have children. So I'll ask them, did you have a miscarriage? What was your issue? And then she'll say something, blah, blah, blah. If it's a woman, if it's a man and that has a third problem, I know that that's not having an equal partner in life. So it doesn't matter what they do, okay? But in most cases, of course, I would prefer them to be quiet, and kind of receive it, not be distracted. But in this life, no one really has the time to sit down and, wait an hour for healing, So it really depends on the situation.
Okay. As far as, what other questions, Jen, do we have?
Okay, so are you able to do healing on yourself?
Good one.
At times, yes, but at times, no. Because almost like my ego kind of steps out a little bit, and it's like, no. But at times, yes, but at times, no.
All right. So, how do people reach you if they would like a reading?
Okay, they can reach me through my website, which is www.readingsbykarina.com. They can also visit me on my Facebook page, which is called Healing with Angels, and it has a picture of a boat. Or they can call me, which is 847-868-0124. That's my business line.
Okay, and they can find all of this if they weren't able to write it all down on your website?
Yeah.
Okay, we also have a page up on MWR, Medicine Women Reveal, the MWReveal.com. We are going to take all the interviews that we do, and there's a picture of them with their website address and a little bit of information. So they are able to connect both ways. If they are unable to find you, then they can go through our place.
Right, we're going to have guest profiles on our website.
So how much?
Right now, until November 1st, the readings are $50 for new clients. After November 1st, there'll be a regular price of $100.
Okay, so right now you have a deal going on. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, and so that it's $50 for an hour, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Until November 1st.
All right, until November 1st. So there is a deadline on that, so please pay attention.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's anything else you would like to talk about?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
Okay, So again, we really appreciate you being here on our show. So we will, we got a few minutes before, we go to that commercial break. And what would you like to give advice to? I mean, what would you like to leave the listeners with?
What I would like to leave them with is that we all need answers. We all need healing in our life. And I know probably some of them would be scared. Some of them would say, oh, I've been to a reader and they were really negative. I don't do that, I never tell you're going to be dead tomorrow. I never do that. And I always am welcoming new people into my circle. But really the most important thing is to take care of your body. Listen to your body. If your body wants to go for a walk, take your body for a walk. Be as loving as you can be. If you don't like your neighbor, hey, it's not going to kill you to say hi to the neighbor because you're sending out positive energy and you are eventually going to receive the positive energy back.
Okay, all right. So you said that you have spirit guides, but one of your websites, or you said, or I'd say on Facebook, was Healing with Angels. So do you work with specific angels, or do you work with all the angels?
I work with angels. I work with everybody. Every day is a new experience. I mean, I have different ones. Sometimes they'll only come for that person and they'll leave and I'll never see them again. Sometimes I don't even know their names. I sometimes don't even know their purpose.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Do you have a favorite angel that you work with?
Right now, my favorite one is Angel Gabriel.
And why?
Because he just makes me feel really safe. When I work with cancer patients especially, he makes me feel very happy. Not happy, but almost like I can do this. He gives me confidence that I can do and clear this. So right now I just absolutely love Gabriel.
That's wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad that you're able to do this. Now, do you have any websites, or any books, any cards, anything that you've done?
Not yet. I'm working on it. I've been actually helping my friends publish their books, so, but not yet. I'm still waiting. The spirit said it's not the right time, so I'm waiting.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here with us today.
Yes, thank you so much, and thanks for the reading.
Yes, and thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, guys.
All right. You have a blessed rest of your life, and hopefully we'll meet up again. And
Definitely.
all right. So say goodbye to everybody, and we'll go commercial.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.